Welcome to Wayne County Connection. I'm your host, Michael Sweigart. Thanks for joining me again for another wonderful episode as we promote Wayne County as a great place to work, live, and play. As always, it's my pleasure to have you join us while we talk with individuals and the agencies that they represent that are doing their part to make Wayne County a great place to work, live, and play. And how you can get involved with them today is the focus of our show. What they're doing, the connections that they're making, and the individuals and groups that they are representing and supporting and promoting are wonderful organizations that we believe in and want you to get connected with so that you can do your part to make our communities a wonderful place and Wayne County a great place to work, live, and play. You might have caught on to the theme of our program, connecting and making Wayne County a great place, and the place that you can start that is at our website, waynet.org/cc. There you can find more information about today's guest and the agencies that they represent. I'll have links to contact them. You can also find out about past guests and the shows that we had there. One of the great things about our website is that you can get information about the on-demand and streaming portions of our program, and so you can share it with people who may not be able to get it on the regular cable broadcast. You can also find from the waynet.org website a community calendar where you can find out about events that are going on in our communities and also where you can post your event, and be sure to check out the calendar at waynet.org. Well, without further ado, I'd like to get into our program today. We are, as you know, in a series called Champions of Youth, where we're talking with the individuals and agencies that are working with youth in our communities. And today we are welcoming to the show Alicia Criswell, who is the Extension Educator with the County Extension Office working with 4-H Youth Development. Alicia Criswell, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Michael.
Hi. As our viewers know, I like to start the program with a brief introduction there, and I've told people like who you are, but if you would, give us a little bit more about who you are and your connections in Wayne County.
Sure. So I am, as you said, the 4-H Youth Development Educator here in Wayne County, and it's my pleasure to serve the families and the youth who we work with. We also are residents here in Wayne County. My husband and I live in the Milton area. We have 3 sons and a small herd of 4 goats. So certainly lots of things that are keeping us busy. I grew up in Henry County, just across the Wayne County line, and spent a lot of time during my childhood in Wayne County participating in different activities and different projects and things that we enjoyed doing in the Cambridge City area. And so I feel like my roots are pretty true here to Wayne County.
All right. And so we like having people that have moved here and found that Wayne County is a great place to work, live, and play, and it seems like you've figured all of that out. I can't imagine what the activity level is in your home with 3 boys and 4 goats. That sounds like it's a never-ending chaos.
It is. It is. We call it the Criswell chaos.
It sounds like a lot of fun, though, there. And speaking of fun, 4-H is a big program for youth fun, but it's more than just fun. There may be viewers, though, that know about 4-H. They may have heard about it. They may even know the Clover logo, but that's about as far as it goes. So could you give us an overview of what the 4-H program is?
Yeah, I'd love to. So 4-H is actually the largest and oldest youth serving organization in the country. It was founded in 1902, so we've been around now more than 120 years, which is pretty fantastic. And we serve youth through a variety of means, different programmatic efforts, different life skills efforts, different character building efforts through the 4-H's, which are head, heart, hands, and health.
Head, heart, hands, and health. And
Yes.
So that sounds like you're trying to engage the whole youth in their development. And you mentioned a lot of things right there that we're going to cover as we get through the program. But let's start with more information about what you mean by engaging those 4-H's.
Yeah. So we do that through a number of youth development and educational opportunities that we present here in Wayne County for youth. And it's youth some of whom are engaged in our traditional 4-H program, and some of whom are engaged with us through a different means. We have clubs in the Wayne County Boys and Girls Clubs. We have activities that happen in a variety of different church settings. And so there's a lot of different ways that youth can connect with us. But primarily our work is done in what I kind of call 3 silos. And that is through healthy living, And that can be healthy living through physical education, through nutrition education, even social emotional health. We've been doing a lot of focus on social emotional health in the last couple of years, as we know that that's an important aspect and area for our youth as well. We also do a lot of STEM or STEAM or STREAM education, depending on what acronym we're working in on that day. And then citizenship and leadership opportunities as well.
Wow, that's a lot of information there. And you mentioned the silos, so there are different areas that you might plug a youth into in different activities, or are they engaged in all three areas at the same time?
So through some of our programs, they are engaged in all three at the same time. Some of them are a bit more specific when we get down to sort of some of our project-based areas. For example, we just yesterday had a program that we did at the Golay Center in Cambridge City for their Super Summer Fun program, and we built circuit boards. So we were really engaged in that stream. But we also talked about how electricity works and how that fuels our world and how we can be better citizens of electricity. So we do try, to implement those different silo areas in each of the programs that we do.
Now, when you first started talking about the program, you said in traditional 4-H, and that leads to there might be some non-traditional 4-H. And again, a lot of viewers may only be aware of the 4-H fair, in Wayne County. And every summer we have this 4-H fair where there are kids with animals. And then in the Coleman Center, we have these displays of various craft-type projects that the youth are involved in. Let's talk about that. I know that's a big part, like kind of the culmination of the 4-H year, but let's talk about how we get to the 4-H fair and what goes on in the youth program through the year.
Yeah, absolutely. So for our traditional members, and when I say that, Michael, you hit the nail on the head. That is our members who are participating in club activities throughout the year, and they are more of a project-based kind of that fair as a means to the end of the project kind of experience. And those are our traditional members. So they usually register during our open enrollment period, which is October 1st through January 15th annually. Starting then in January into February and March, those youth are engaged in their respective clubs. And we've got more than 30 clubs across the county. Some of those are project-based clubs. Some are just specific to the area. They're just geographical clubs that any youth can belong to. From there, those youth begin working on projects that they select, and we have more than 65 projects that youth can engage with us. And as they work on those projects, they enjoy the different experiences and opportunities that each of those projects may afford. And they are ultimately working then towards that culmination of an exhibit in June at our annual Wayne County 4-H Fair.
So that kind of brings up some of my experience when I was a youth, that 4-H was really more for the farm kids or for the rural kids than it was for the city kids. Is that really the way that 4-H is oriented, or is it more open to all youth?
Absolutely. And that's a great question. We certainly have deep roots in agriculture, and we're very proud of those roots. But we've got opportunities for youth, whether they live, in a high rise in a big city, or they're living on a farm, in rural Indiana. We've got an opportunity for every child. So I like to say we've got something from aerospace to woodworking, so A to W, and everything that falls in between. I like you, Michael, I think a lot of people, associate 4-H with, I always think of about a 10 or 12-year-old, young man or young woman at the end of a lead of a calf, right?
Right.
And I think for many people, that's sort of the image that they have, rooted of 4-H. But we have opportunities for youth who want to participate in robotics, who want to participate in photography. Shooting sports is a popular project amongst our youth. So who want to, learn more about archery and firearms. And so we truly have something for everybody.
So when I was thinking about the program and I was racking my brain before I got into my research again, what are these 4-H's? I mean, I know I'd heard it before, but I couldn't quite remember them. And I was thinking it was hands, heart, health, and home, because a lot of the projects that I remember have to do with home life and things that you might be doing in home. I remember the displays when I was a kid going to 4-H fair and seeing the displays of the cakes and thinking, oh, I'd like to eat one of those. And my mom going, no, they're just decorated styrofoam, son. You can't have one of those things. And I was disappointed, but that image obviously sticks with me. And I know that carries on today, that's one of the parts of the program. So, but the focus isn't on really home development, but there are a lot of projects that are available. You said there are more than 65. So for someone who is not a rural resident, who's not on a farm or something, other than aerospace, what are some of the other projects that might be engaging for city youth?
Sure. So I'm just going to kind of rattle off a list here as I think of projects, but of course we said, aerospace, but then we've got tons of arts and crafts projects. There's about 20 arts and crafts projects. So whatever area a youth is interested in, as far as arts and crafts, we can just about plug them in somewhere. We've got our photography project, which is huge. We have many different natural resources projects, which is so cool for the youth here in Wayne County. We have such a wealth of natural resources, with the Cope Environmental Center and Hayes Arboretum. And so we have forestry, we have wildlife, soil and water conservation, lots of different ways that youth can engage in those projects. Our vet science project is becoming more popular. We have a lot of youth who are really interested in animal sciences, and that has become a really popular project. We have of course, our foods project. I think you were alluding more to that cake decorating project, which is also a cool one. But if youth are interested in culinary arts or perhaps a career in dietetics or nutrition, that's a really great project for them to engage in. We also have recycling. We have construction toys, which is what it sounds like. It's Legos or Connects or Lincoln Logs, and youth create all kinds of cool displays and items with those. So truly something that any kid across the county can participate.
And the projects are a great way to get engaged, but it's not the end goal. It's not like, okay, we're just here to put together Legos, or we're just here to take some pictures. It's a part of a bigger program. As you mentioned earlier, it's kind of the end for the means, which is the development of the youth. So talk about how you use those various activities in youth development. One of the big things that I look for in a program, and one of the reasons why I like 4-H so much, is because of the focus on character, leadership, and citizenship, and those core values that help us be a better community and be more connected and make it a better place to work, live, and play.
Absolutely. So we oftentimes reference the fact that the project is really kind of the vehicle through the educational journey. So, whether a youth displays, a Lego creation that they've made, that Lego creation is really the ultimate end to what that youth has learned, what they've created, what they've been able to do with their time and talents. And so those projects are simply a vehicle through that learning process. The same with our livestock projects. They may exhibit a rabbit at the fair, but that rabbit has simply been the vehicle for the educational components of that project. So we really encourage our youth as they work through each of their individual projects to use their imagination, to use their creativity, to learn life skills like time management, responsibility. For some youth, these projects can be very expensive. And that may not be, a resource that, money is a resource that is an ending. So, they may have to get creative in how they use the resources around them. And we encourage that as well. We love to see our youth partner with their peers, whether they're older or younger youth members, and work together through the projects. So many different things that happen through that journey, with the project being that vehicle.
So you just mentioned the older youth helping the younger youth, and we talked about the club program and the leadership. Is there a structure inside of the club where youth get to learn leadership and practice leadership skills that they can apply then later in life?
They do. So we have our mini 4-H members, which are non-competitive. We kind of refer to that as 4-H exploration, are in kindergarten, first and second grade. And then youth begin their regular 4-H journey when they reach third grade. And that carries for 10 years then until they're seniors in high school. And so we really encourage those youth as they get older in the project to become mentors for the younger youth. And we have a variety of different avenues. We have the Wayne County 4-H Junior Leaders, which is a program specifically for our middle school and high school youth. We have about 60 kiddos that are a part of that program that work with younger youth, that participate in different leadership development activities, and that really become my right-hand men and women during that great Wayne County 4-H fair. They do a lot of work behind the scenes to make that fair happen. In our livestock program, we have the Wayne County 4-H Livestock Ambassadors, who are specifically chosen by their barn superintendents and other adult volunteers as being just exemplary in their character and their ability to exhibit their livestock, who we pair up with younger youth to help them be successful as well.
That sounds like a lot, and you just mentioned a couple of things that I want to make sure we get to. This program is going by so quick, and I've just got thousands and thousands of questions to ask you about the program. But you mentioned that you have a specific number of youth that are involved in the leadership program. About how many youth do you serve right now in Wayne County?
So total, we in our traditional program, we have about 750 youth.
That's a pretty big program, but still there are more that are not participating that you could open your doors to. And
absolutely.
And if someone was interested in joining a club or getting involved in the non-traditional 4-H, one of the things that you mentioned was that they start in kindergarten, go all the way through. What if somebody's like in 5th or 6th grade or maybe even high school and like, hey, I'd like to get involved now. Is it too late for them?
Absolutely not. We welcome them anytime. A youth can become engaged with us, even if it's their last year of eligibility as a senior. If it's something that interests them, we would absolutely welcome them into the program.
Now, we just mentioned, and although this program is originally taping in August, or airing in August of 2022, so we're kind of at the end of your year, you mentioned that the enrollment starts in October and goes through January every year. How does someone get involved in that open enrollment? Where do they make that connection?
So they would be welcome to contact us here at the Wayne County Extension office. We're located in the Coleman Center on Salisbury Road on the Wayne County Fairgrounds. They can also visit our website, which is extension.purdue.edu/Wayne. They are also welcome to give us a call at the office, and our number is 765-973-9281, or they can reach us by email. And my email is Criswell with only one L in my last name at purdue.edu. And we would welcome them to reach out any way that is best suitable for them, whether it's in person, via email, via phone, and we'd be glad to help them get engaged.
And then once they're enrolled, what does their regular involvement with 4-H look like? Do they meet weekly, monthly, daily? What does a youth's program look like in 4-H?
Yeah, and so that's really dependent upon the direction of their 4-H projects and their 4-H involvement. We have youth who are involved, almost daily in May and June through things like the Wayne County 4-H Dog Project. They meet almost daily, sometimes every other day. Our Wayne County 4-H Tractor Club also meets daily in the weeks leading up to the fair. But we also have, clubs that meet monthly if that's more applicable and manageable for a family's schedule. So there's a lot of different avenues that they can take depending on what works well for their family, for their schedules, and for their project involvement.
Sounds like you need to add an F to your 4-H's there and make it and families, but you've mentioned a lot of times they're adults, and we haven't really talked about that, but I'd like to give you an opportunity because I'm sure that there are some viewers who are watching who are wondering, is there a room for me in 4-H? So what kind of opportunities are there for adults in 4-H, even though this is about youth, but
Absolutely. Yeah, we couldn't, this program wouldn't be possible without our volunteers. We have approximately 130 approved volunteers who go through a screening process with us. Youth safety is, of course, our primary concern. And so we screen our adults and ensure that we are offering positive youth role models through those adults. And they are engaged with us in a number of different ways. We have adults who help with maybe a singular program, but then we have adults who are engaged in many different ways, whether it's through the Wayne County 4-H Board of Directors, which is our governing body, the Fair Committee, which helps annually to put on that huge event that we have in June. We have project leaders and club leaders. So there are a number of ways that adults can become involved too, and we can meet the needs of most everybody's schedules too.
And you mentioned there's kind of a process to go through to become an adult leader. When would be the best time for an adult who's interested to get started with 4-H?
Yeah, so we would invite them to get involved with us at the same time that we're re-enrolling our youth each year. So kind of during those fall months, October 1st through January 15th annually is the perfect time as an adult to get plugged into the system as well, and to see that the entire program year take place.
And again, you mentioned a variety of programs from home all the way to the farm, from animal care to construction materials and photography. And so there's a wide variety of opportunities available there as well. Are adult leaders expected to provide any resources beyond just mentoring skills for their youth?
So we really rely heavily on the expertise of our volunteers in a lot of different cases. I always fall back to my horse and pony volunteers. Those folks are amazing. I am not a horse and pony girl. I didn't grow up around horses and ponies, and I can have an intelligent conversation about them now, but 10 years ago I couldn't. And so those volunteers are people who offer their expertise and their times and their talent to those youth and teach youth just such a huge variety of skills. And we have many project volunteers who are in similar areas because, you know, as with 65 different project areas, I certainly am not an expert in all 65 of those areas. So I rely heavily on adult volunteers who have that expertise and that drive to work with youth to provide those opportunities.
So there are a lot of ways that 4-H impacts youth and adults in our communities to make Wayne County a great place to work, live, and play. What are some success stories that you might be able to point out of a youth that has either benefited from 4-H or taken their 4-H experience and brought it back into the community in some way as an adult?
Yeah, it's so fun to see the ways that, the different opportunities that youth are afforded in 4-H become career paths for them. We have several youth, countless numbers, who have went on to Purdue University to major in different ag-related fields, whether it's ag communications, agricultural economics, agricultural management. So that's certainly a popular career path. But we've also had a fair number of youth who have become engaged in programs like food science, dietetics, nutrition, animal nutrition, biochemistry, biology. I had a young lady who just graduated this past year with a degree in biology, who was inspired through a 4-H project that she got involved with later in her 4-H career. So it's been amazing to see these youth take their skills. We've got young people who have become photographers who are doing well. We have had youth who have been involved in our shooting sports program who go on to the military, who go on to careers as police officers. So it's just amazing to really watch the youth flourish in their programs and have successful career paths as it relates to their 4-H tenure.
So there's some great examples of people that have used experiences that they gained in 4-H and gone on to use them in adult life. What if somebody's like in third grade and they really don't have an idea yet? Are they going to get plugged into, for example, a photography program and be locked into that for their whole time in 4-H?
Absolutely not. So they can try it. It's so fun to see some of those kiddos who you talk to them about their projects and their faces just light up and they could just talk about them all day. But then we've also got, some youth who exhibit their projects and it was like, well, how was this? And they're like, I hated it. I hated every minute of it. My mom made me finish it, kind of a thing. And you just know that is not going to be a project that they're involved in next year. And that's okay. I think, part of success is failure. And so sometimes, those challenges and learning that that's not an interest that you have after all is part of the youth success.
I think one of the things that we do sometimes in working with youth is tell them, you can be whatever you want to be. That doesn't mean you have to be whatever you've expressed an interest in it over time, because it might be, like you said, you start down a path and you're like, yeah, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I'm done with this business. Let's switch gears. So that's a great way, and they can get connected. Does that sometimes mean that youth have to transfer from club to club in order to continue their path, or do they get to stay with their same group of youth, or is that really an issue?
That really isn't an issue. For some of our project-specific clubs, like our rabbit club, our dog club, if a youth is involved in those projects, we encourage them to be involved in that club, just because there's a lot of information sharing and expertise that takes place within those clubs. If they decide not to take the project, but they enjoy the club, they're welcome to stay in that club. And we have youth who are involved in a number of different clubs, throughout their tenure with us.
All right. Well, Alicia, we are coming to the end of the program. I want to give you one last opportunity to mention your contacts, but there's a lot more information that she has that she can share with you, our viewers, about 4-H and get you connected. But real quickly, those connection points again for people that are interested in getting involved with 4-H.
Yeah, absolutely. So they can visit our website, and that's extension.purdue.edu/Wayne. They are welcome to call us at 765-973-9281. We love to meet folks in person, so if they would want to stop by the Coleman Center, located on the Wayne County Fairgrounds, we would certainly welcome them and would love to meet new faces and new families as they consider us for their family. And then we also have a very active Facebook page. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but that is Wayne County 4-H Richmond, Indiana.
You didn't mention it earlier. We have had it going up on the lower thirds, though, so I hope that our viewers have been paying attention to that and already connected in that way, and if they haven't, they can. Alicia Criswell, 1L, is the Extension Educator at the Purdue County Extension Office working with 4-H Youth Development. Thank you for your time explaining the 4-H program to us today, Alicia. Appreciate having you on the show.
Thank you, Michael. I loved my time with you. Thank you.
Thank you, and much success as you go through this. Enjoy your rest, get through the state fair, and enjoy your rest for September as you get ramped up back in October again for a new year.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Viewers, every month we appreciate you watching us and getting connected with the agencies and individuals that we've had on our program so that you can do your part to make Wayne County a great place to work, live, and play. I'm Michael Sweigart, your host. On behalf of Jenny Lahman, our producer, Wes, our director, the rest of the staff here at WCTV, thanks for watching. We'll see you next month.